everyone, and welcome to the Sania Farooqui Show. Today we have somebody joining us from Norway, Nefise Özkal Lorentzen. She's a Turkish-Norwegian writer, filmmaker, and associate professor at Inland University, Norway. Over the past 2 decades, she has produced and directed several documentaries related to Islam. As a result of her dedication to LGBTQ rights and human rights activism through her films, she's been named one of the top 10 immigrant role models in Norway. Her trilogy of films titled Gender Me, A Balloon for Allah, and Man Islam brings alive untold stories about Islam. Utilizing her workshop concept, Gender Activism Through Films, she has cooperated with various NGOs in Indonesia, China, Bangladesh, Turkey, Germany, and more. Thank you so much, Nefise. It is truly wonderful to have you on the Sania Farooqui Show today.
Thank you so much, Sania. It's so great to be here. I wish I will be just near to you and have tea together, but we are having tea digitally.
Yes, we are virtual digital catch-up time, but thank you. It's wonderful, truly wonderful to have you. And I'm looking forward to our very rich conversation for the next couple of minutes. So Nafisa, you've been a filmmaker for almost over 2 decades. Your films talk about Islam in various ways, whether LGBTQ rights, human rights, gender, and other minority issues. You've often said gender has been more or less the key concept in your quest into the mystery of Islam. Tell us what got you inspired to choose gender and sexual reformation in Islam as a filmmaker.
I think it's a little story from my childhood. I would like to share it to you so you can see why I was so fascinated with gender. My mother worked as a pediatrician and she was a single mother, and we traveled various cities in Turkey, and I was kind of a tomboy. Once a girl came to her office with the family, and she was really so amazingly pretty, and she had long hair, long dress, and she was very silent. And so the family, I think, was asking my mother, the kid, I think she was like my age at that time, like 6-7 years old type of. And so I think the problem was the kid was not talking. So I was really fascinated, this beautiful girl, especially her hair, just like, oh, I wish I could have like that. And so what I heard that the family actually, the mother had so many miscarriages. I think she lost many baby boys. And when she had her, and the family decided something very imaginary. Actually, the girl that I have seen was not a girl, it was a boy. And since the mother missed so many kids, so they tried not to bring all the bad spirits to this kid, and they changed her gender by making that he is, dressing girl dress. So the child has some other traumas, I guess, and this child was kind of silent. And I was so fascinated. I mean, I remember my fascination of like the family is just, want him to be her, and why type of thing. And the other thing which really affected me when it comes to gender, like it was not very common at that time that women are divorced. So I was kind of hiding, like, my father not with us, but he's kind of some other places type of thing. But many women who didn't have, jobs that the society really needed them, they were controlled by the society. But the society needed my mother. I mean, she was the only pediatrician. And in order to find a balance, that they need her, she's a single mother, type of thing, they made her a man. So they called my mother Mr. Tendü. It was in east part of Turkey, a place called Erzincan, and it was like in the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can imagine like the 6-year-old girl, me, seeing all the patients, they are, the gender is flowing, and then you see that people are calling your mother is a man.
Yeah.
Like they are treating your mother as if she were a man. We went to, in the small villages in the east part of Turkey, it was not very common to have a woman without a man, but with a child, and she is in a way, serving the community. I mean, she's a doctor.
Yeah.
So, but I found that the gender thing that we are dealing with in the traditional societies, the people have actually lots of imagination. I mean, gender is not blocked. When they need it, they find out, I mean, if they need you and me, in a very traditional society, if they need storytellers like us, so they can find the ways in which they can accept the gender, but maybe they cannot accept the same things for another woman. So this imagination was, I think it was just amazing. I felt like it was kind of bizarre when I was growing up, but yeah, I think it is incredible. The
Yeah.
people are
So
very pragmatic.
no, it is because obviously it had a strong impact on you, and that's why, when you decided that the films that you're going to work on, initially you did cover a lot of LGBTQ rights. What made you get into filming that, and why did you choose the Muslim society? Because I think when you made these films, they were also at a time and period when LGBT was not something that people spoke openly, or people came out, not as much as what they're doing today. These were very hush hush conversations. How easy or difficult was it for you to, as a storyteller, navigate through this subject and this topic? And also, why did you choose to do this?
I have lots of friends in LGBTQ community, and I am very dedicated. I'm an, what can I say? I'm an hetero LGBT activist. So in order to be, in order to fight for the rights of your friends, you don't need to, I mean, share the same uh, gender identity, or share the same nationality. It's just like, because we are living in this one world, and we have to fight for each other's rights. So to answer your question is, again, I think my fight is not like, not only the rights of LGBT community, but it is just to create a new awareness and understanding about our double moral. So again, I'm not sure if you know, there is a Turkish singer. His name is Zeki Müren. He passed away many years ago, but he is like, I mean, he is the icon in Turkey. And he was homosexual, and not only that, he was also a drag queen. So he was the biggest fascination I have had when I was a kid. I mean, I love to just watch him with all these, very, 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 yeah, fancy mini shorts, and like peacock dress, and lots of makeup and everything. And he was a great artist, and everyone, really everyone, even though in their mind and heart they are against LGBT, they loved Zeki Müren. And it was not an issue like if he's gay or not. No, he was like our, we called him sanat güneşi, our son of art type of thing. And my grandma was taking me to the concerts and to see him, and I was seeing all these women like getting crazy to hear his voice. So then I realized that, I mean, when you really make your art, and if you really come to this level, and then people just they kind of accept you, but they find stories to accept you. And so this double moral is very, very interesting for me. I mean, like you can see mothers and fathers, they are against their kids of being, gays and lesbians. But while they are against, when they are fighting with their kids, they are hearing Zeki Müren and crying because, he opens their hearts. This doubleness is very fascinating for me.
Yeah.
So this is what I would like to bring. I would like to bring the awareness of the very conservative people and ask them, who really affects you? I mean, whenever you feel so sad, which song you like? And remember, the one who is singing these songs, maybe, he is or she is like the ones that you don't like. So I just want to bring this awareness. So this is my little fight.
Nice. Before I get to my next question, I want to show our audience a clip from your latest film, Seyran Ates, Sex, Revolution and Islam. So let's quickly look at it and get back.
Was eine Hurentochter, diese Seyran. You are a disgrace to Islam and Muslims. Fuck you, old bitch.
Seyran Ates, ladies and gentlemen.
You have to see the reality. Islam needs a sexual revolution. And so I decided to be a female imam. Oh, mein Vater, tu, was dir geheißen war. We are living in the 21st century, but we are teaching Islam like in the 7th century. Okay, show me where is it written. I'm not allowed to do this, I'm not allowed to do that. Show me.
You have a fatwa against you.
I have police protection since 2006. There are a lot of people who are willing to kill me. Ich wurde von mindestens 2 Kugeln getroffen. Hier, hier und hier. Onu hiç hatırlamak istemiyor. Tamam üzmek istemedim anne seni. Tamam. Özür dilerim.
I still get goosebumps each time I watch that trailer. Tell us about Seyran. She's one of the first female imams of Europe, and she's been through a lot. She's been attacked, shot by bullets. What made you identify and choose her as a character for your film? And she herself is also a very guarded individual. Literally, she has security and protection, and with so many things going on around her. How easy or difficult was it to film with her, to enter her world? And also from her side, how easy or difficult was it for her to allow you into her personal space?
Absolutely. Seyran is a very, very powerful woman, but besides being powerful, she is so real. So her being so real is so fascinating because she's not like, whenever you criticize Islam, she's not like, oh, what about, you do also have some same things in your culture and my culture, your culture. She doesn't deal with these type of things. I mean, she is very clear what she is fighting for. She can agree with even the people that she shouldn't agree with. So she agrees with people that people think that she should agree with. I mean, she doesn't care actually. But she is into her mission. I mean, if you agree with her mission, fine. And she doesn't ask you if you belong to the clan or not. So this, I think, is very fascinating. And this type of intellectuals that we really need in our time. And I think the film is a journey through Seyran's life, from her humble beginning as a Muslim girl in Turkey's slums to a female leader, daring to challenge her own religion. And this daring is really, which really, in a way, triggered my voyage. So Seyran continues the travels around the world as a human rights and LGBTQ activist. And yes, she is the most police protected civilian woman, the most police protected civilian woman in Europe.
Wow.
So Seyran rebels against extremism, which I think it is very important, and hate, against hate, in the name of peace and love. So she is, just to tell about the journey, like actually my mother introduced me, Seyran, because she read an article in New York Times and she said that now you are working about female imams, but I mean, here you have Seyran Ates, read this. And I read it, and then believe me, I just bought the ticket and I traveled to Berlin. And it was a very amazing experience to meet her first time. Actually, in the film, the shot that we are seeing her with the bodyguards, that was my first shot. I mean, before I said hi to her, I had this, I was filming her. So it was not so easy at the beginning because it was not easy to enter. There are so many barriers. There are so many bodyguards. Like when we were filming her first time in the mosque, so I couldn't we couldn't, close the door. So the bodyguard should be with us. I mean, there were many restrictions, but it was just amazing. Like we really found each other through stories and through our mission. And Seyran, thanks God, she really opened me her life.
Yeah.
And she told me, like, at least, I mean, 30, 40 different TV channels like CNN, yeah, you name it. They were interested to make a documentary about her. So she said yes to me. And and the other thing is I'm an independent documentary filmmaker. So I do not, make things by kind of, order or advertisement. Her mother loves the film.
Oh.
So when Seyran's mother loves the film, so of course it's important that Seyran agrees with the film and loves the film, which is very important. But I mean, nothing is more important that her mother loves the film. Then it is just like, it's finished.
Yeah. No, and I like the fact, like when you said that she's also very real, she's very human. The fact that you started, one of the main scenes that begins is her conversation with her mother. So even that for you to be able to do was, I think, is quite an achievement because it's a very personal lens and a very personal zoom that you're doing into the life of Seyran and the conversation with her mother and her nephew, which follows around. So I think it's a great achievement and a great film, and she is a larger than life character. So I think it's
yes, exactly. Yeah, she is definitely larger than life. She is.
Yeah. What kind of reaction have you got from the community? Because Seyran is also somebody who talks about LGBTQ rights. I'm again bringing this back because within the Muslim community, these are very hush topics. They're considered haram, they're considered illegal, they're considered there are countries that probably kill you for coming out, if you say that you are LGBTQ. So it is a controversial topic. What kind of response have you got so far? I know right now we're in the middle of the pandemic and everything is virtual and digital. So with all of those things in mind, what's the kind of response that you've got?
When it comes to response to the film, so the film has been screened in many festivals. Unfortunately, all the festivals were online, and I was kind of traveling, within 1 hour from different countries. So, in that sense, I think the audience really loved it. We have got incredible reviews from very good newspapers and periodicals, but I didn't get any response from very conservative people. Probably they haven't heard about the film and haven't seen the film. So I really would like to show the film in a mosque if they can allow me, and I think Seyran also would like to show the film and hear how the other side is receiving the film. So, and I think this film will create bridges between how we have different ways of seeing Islam. I have been working with Seyran Ates in the last 3 years. And so I'm always telling her what type of images I have in my mind and why I'm in a way bringing kind of metaphoric way of telling her story. And she really loved it. I mean, because she has been interviewed with many TV stations, radio stations all around the world. And so the interviews are mostly related to her work, and it is related to her mission. But I told her that I would like to bring the metaphors. I would like to, build my film with images, dreams, and I actually would like to go in her mind. So I asked her, could you just give me the key that I can go in your mind? And she said, yes, yeah, you have the key. So this is how it started.
Your films do harbor gender sensitive issues. You're a Muslim woman yourself. So when you're out there making films on, the various topics as we discuss, LGBTQ, Islam, speaking to fundamentalists or people from extremely conservative societies and countries, how do you navigate that space? Does your own gender and religion bring burden to the set, or does it work in your favor?
I think, I do not have, it's kind of like, if you are colorblind, you cannot distinguish the colors. And I think I'm kind of burden blind. I sometimes cannot distinguish the burdens that I have been facing. So because I am very dedicated, sometimes I just go, this way. I'm very dedicated to the mission. I mean, the mission for me is to tell the stories in a different way, which a person who totally disagrees with me will have some kind of a feeling in his or her heart. So this is like my mission. So in order to reach this mission, so I have to get rid of first of all my nefs, my ego, when I'm working on these topics. And then I should bring my curiosity in a very positive way that people, even they don't agree with me, they will start the conversation. So I met people who gave foot soldiers to Al-Qaeda. I talked to them when I was working in Man Islam, and I never hide my, my ideas. I never just, pretend, oh, I like your ideas type of thing. And I say, I'm there and you are there, and I really want to understand you. I mean, this is sincerely, I really want to understand you, because my goal is to build bridges between you and me.
As a filmmaker, it's obviously difficult to enter the world, and I think that is something that you do very easily and you do very comfortably. To be able to, like you said, go into the mind of the person, the key to a person's mind to tell their bigger, broader stories. What about, as a filmmaker, I want to understand, do you face sexism, misogyny in the industry? Has it ever occurred, or has there been such challenges where, because of your gender, you were not able to do your films, or you were not able to get funding, or you were not able to produce a story that you wanted to produce? Has your own gender ever been a challenge?
Honestly, when it comes to funding, I think my gender is not an issue, and I have been working in this business for 2 decades at least. My films have done quite well, and when several festivals, when one film is finished and my friends say that, oh, it will be so easy for you to do the next film. Everything will be smooth, and it's never like that. Like, I mean, like for Seyran's film, so when I'm applying to the project, it's because of kind of my mind is very metaphorical and very, very surreal. And at the very beginning, like the commissioning editors, they don't really believe it. They always say, you should just be, you know, one thing. You don't have so many layers type of thing. But it is my art, and I don't compromise for that. So I always, at least I get, I don't know, like 3 no. And then I insist, and they think that, oh my God, she's going to apply for 10 years. We should get rid of her. And they gave me some money. I insist. I mean, you don't want me? Really? Oh, okay. I joined the club. I mean, I don't have the luxury of being hurt and being very sensitive and complain. So, but in that sense, I have found my way of communication. I stay, I insist, but I have had a very, very gentle, how can I describe it? I got so many gentle racism, gentle sexism. It is so gentle that you don't know how to handle. I mean, I feel very comfortable when I'm together with people. I mean, they are really on the other side of the other side, that we don't have the same images or same understanding of life. When I know where they are, so I can really communicate, because all my, you know, system, I know how to communicate with them. But this gentle, white, educated, not only men and women, and, you know, sometimes talking to me about this, you know, the techniques. Oh, excuse me, what did you say? Can you repeat again? Type of thing, you know, this gentle exclusion and the gentle way of saying, you know, you are not one of us. You see that? This type of this, you know, the gestures, gentle exclusion. I think it is so fascinating.
But you did face backlash for one of your films, A Gift from God, which is about the military coup in Turkey in 2019. And following that film, you can no longer travel back to Turkey. You spent almost 3 years working on that film. So tell us a little about it, and how did this film change your life? And this film also is slightly different from the kind of films that you've made. So what made you choose to make this film? And you know, did you ever anticipate the kind of reaction or the response that you got once the film was out?
Yeah, I directed A Gift from God together with Jürgen Lorentzen, who is my partner, and he is also my producer. But in this film, so we worked as co-directors. So Jürgen is also coming from academics, and he's also a journalist. So A Gift from God has a different style than my other films, and it is more kind of journalistic film. So what we wanted to do with this film is to create a platform that we can collect, you know, several questions and ask what happened to that night, and do you see that Turkey is really going to a very police state, fascistic police state? So these are the things that we would like to bring on surface. And as I told you, like in my previous films, I have interviewed Salafists, I have interviewed people who are, you know, finding foot soldiers to Al-Qaeda. I mean, I have interviewed intellectuals who are anti-Islam. I mean, I have interviewed people from, it's like kind of a rainbow. Yeah. But in this film, we also interviewed Gülen, who is the main target of Erdogan. So that was it. Like, I mean, like people even didn't see the film. And then when they hear that we interview Gülen, how can you do that? I mean, why shouldn't I? I mean, I can interview anyone and everyone. It doesn't mean that I agree with them. Absolutely not. And especially for me, the strongest story in the film is a family from Izmir. They lost their son in the bridge. Literally, his head was cut. So, I mean, when I was really interviewing this family and talking to them about their son, so I mean, of course, I was there professionally. I was listening to them, but when we were finished, when we sat in the car and said bye-bye to them, I was just crying several hours. It is so strong to, hear the painful stories of people. And then at the end, some mass majority supporters of Erdogan condemning these people as terrorists. I think it is just like, I just can't accept that.
Yeah. So,
and I don't regret that we have done this film, and we will do more things, I hope.
Yeah. Likewise. It's difficult. Turkey is one of the toughest and amongst the worst countries when it comes to freedom of expression, journalism, and activism. Now that you are also a professor, what would your message be for the younger generation living in Turkey who want to be storytellers and filmmakers? How can they navigate this space given how restricted creative art, anything to do with art and filmmaking, journalism has become now?
Turkey right now, especially President Erdogan, he is trying to create the images that people, you are nothing, I am, the president is the most powerful person and I can decide, or he says he can decide anything and everything. So this is the image that he gives to people, and then that's the reason that people are kind of silent. And so my message to young Turkish people who would like to tell their stories, number one, be international. There is an international community who is taking, who is really who has incredible feelings about Turkey, because Turkey is a very important country, both geopolitics and culturally. So my real message is there is an international community who really cares about you, and spread your network.
We're running out of time, so my last question to you is, which amongst all of your films is your favorite one? And is there any film or a character that you relate to?
I really cannot answer to this question because, when I'm working with my films, I'm very dedicated. I'm almost like too dedicated, like I only see them. And so when I start a new project, so I forget about the other films. It's just like I don't own my films.
Yeah.
It's when I'm working on it, so I'm very dedicated. But when I finish, so it belongs to audience. So that is, so I just move to another place. So I can't answer it. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. But on that note, we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much. You're an extraordinary filmmaker and a storyteller, and you've done a few of the most courageous projects. So hats off for that, and good luck for all the future projects that you're working on. And I look forward to your future screenings. And thank you again so much for coming on the Sania Farooqui Show. It was truly wonderful and an absolute honor speaking to you today.
Thank you so much, Sania. It has been a great pleasure to meet you and talk to you. You are so inspiring, and you also give lots of place that we can bring our stories to many other young women and young men. Or yeah, I really would like to meet you in India, inshallah.
Likewise, likewise. I hope we do once this pandemic is over, and it would be wonderful to meet you. So no, thank you so much. It's been
Thank you so much.
great chatting with you. Please stay safe, and good luck with all your other projects. And thank you for
Thanks.
your thoughts on the Sania Farooqui Show as well. I truly appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
And for those of you who've tuned in, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and also subscribe to our newsletter to keep up with all the updates on the Sania Farooqui Show. I'm going to be seeing you again next week. Bye-bye.